You're doing good.
He's coming, he's coming.
This is like worse than it. Oh my god, this is the biggest fish I've ever seen.
She's trying to reel.
Nicer. Yay, thank you, Maddie. Biggest fish I've ever seen. Way to go, Greg. We are at Lake of the Woods and we are fishing the South Basin. We're with Riverbend today, and what I love about this is that everything is taken care of for you. After a couple long weeks on the ice, it's tough to beat a heated house, great cabins, transportation, and no need to find the fish. We've had a lot of success over here throughout the ice years, and last year, Maddie Ogg slammed a 30-inch walleye right out of one of their houses. So this is gonna be your ultimate guide. I'm gonna go through accommodations, lures, everything you need to know to plan a perfect family trip up here on Lake of the Woods. So one of the nice things is they provide warm transportation out on the lake. You don't have to worry about ice conditions. So if you do one of these inclusive trips guided, it's well worth it. You're safe, you get a nice warm house to go to, the stress is off, and you can simply enjoy fishing. All right, so we are in one of Riverbend's day houses out here. This is one of their smaller ones because it is earlier in the ice season. They do have larger ones for bigger groups, and it's so warm and comfortable. You don't need your bibs, you don't need a bunch of outerwear. You're just comfortable and you can adjust the heat. Always advise going out with a resort this time of year. We're, middle to end of December, because ice conditions can vary so much on Lake of the Woods, especially because the lake doesn't always fully lock up, so things shift. So 4 of us in here comfortably today. It's going to be a wild day. You never know when you're going to get that 30. Nice, dude. Well, it feels like a nicer fish. So one of the best perks of being up here with your family is you can do pizza delivery, or you can do their meal plan with lunches, and then just being able to have that food brought out, especially with little ones. The family environment is amazing. It makes things more convenient. Everyone's eating a good meal. And it's a great way to also help keep this one busy.
We're out here on early ice. It's about a week from Christmas. The resorts have been fishing for probably about a week to 10 days now. We're on 12 to 14 inches of ice, sitting in 18 foot of water. The fish are gonna start to transition here. By the time we get to New Year's, we'll probably be out to 24, 26, and the resorts are gonna chase them all the way out into the basin. By the time we get into late January, into February, out in the mud out there's a lot of bugs. You get bug hatches through the ice. You'll get the suspended fish. Basically, here at Riverbend, they'll end up all the way out towards Three Sisters sometimes. You'll go as far as they need to, maybe 10, 15 miles from Pine Island, and then at a certain point in time, the fish work their way back to the shore, and the resorts follow them right back in. So you get back to mid-March and the fish are going to stage off the shorelines and get ready to move up the river. So the resorts just kind of follow along with them.
So having so much fun up here at Riverbend on Lake of the Woods. Early ice out here is fantastic. We've been getting a lot of action, a lot of saugers. Nikki's got the hot stick right now. She's been slaying left and right. But the fun thing about Lake of the Woods is you usually have a lot of action. We're fishing 20 feet. A lot of people, once the lake is fully froze up, will make a DIY trip out towards like Garden and all that. And there's a lot of big fish caught out that way. But early ice, I cannot recommend doing a guided trip with one of the resorts. Riverbend particularly, just because it is a lot safer. And it's very family friendly if you want to bring your kids along. Woohoo! Oh, it's a nicer one. So for gear up here, let's talk about rods, reels, line. What I like is one of my shorter St. Croix rods. I love the custom series just because they have a variety of kind of technique specific rods. I've got their deep spoon, which is going to be perfect for any spoon fishing. The most important thing to me is having medium light at the lightest backbone, because you could hook into some very large fish, and then a shorter length. You're going to want a shorter length being in this house. Especially when you're fishing with them in the house, just because it is a little bit tighter and these holes are all set and pre-drilled. If you fish outside, I always recommend a long rod. I love the St. Croix outside eye. If I was bouncing around on holes out here, that's what I would use. For line, I just have 8-pound braid with an 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. Very typical setup up on Lake of the Woods. Any 8 to 10 pound line is going to be just fine. And then spoons. Spoons are very popular for ice fishing. I love them up here. I've got the Lindy Rattle and Flyer. You can get those at 15% off from learnet.com, so be sure to check that out for your tackle needs. But any sort of spoons and jigs are going to work just fine when you're fishing Lake of the Woods. Last year my daughter popped a 30-inch, my 1-year-old daughter popped a 30-inch walleye with my friend Maddie, and she just had a plain untipped spoon on. So you never know what could happen when you're fishing up here. And finally, for electronics, you can rent whatever you need from Paul, or you can bring your own. We've got live scope, we're sharing it in down view. It's so much fun, but any sort of flashers are gonna work in this house, and it's really whatever you prefer to use. The thing about Lake of the Woods is there's a ton of fish. A lot of times you're catching a lot of saugers, but you never know when you're gonna get that fish of a lifetime. It's one of the best places in the Midwest where you guys can go and get your 30-inch walleye.
Hey guys, it's Carly Winkleman here. This is my first time ever being up at Riverbend Resort on Lake of the Woods, and wow, what an incredible experience. From the day houses to the people haulers being heated and comfy to the incredible accommodations at night, this place is awesome. I highly recommend you all come give it a try.
One of the best joys of fishing Lake of the Woods is you guys can count on a variety of species. A lot of people come here for the walleye, but you can count on big burb, especially at night, giant perch, the random smallmouth bass. There's muskie, particularly on the north end. Lake of the Woods has it all. So if you're looking for a multi-species adventure, this is really where you want to go. I come here for the walleye, and everything else is an awesome bonus.